Hey guys, Maroli here. I'm going to be trying something a little different today. I'm going to be voice commentating my games. Uh, I've got some feedback from you on the YouTube comment section, and you guys are absolutely right about the captions not being very visible on mobile. If you have other feedback or comments, please leave them in the YouTube comments below so I can try to address that. And this is the rental code for the team I'll be using today. And these games are from the Smogon Cartridge Kickoff Tour. It's a low stakes way to get some good games against stronger members of the community and have fun doing it. And we'll definitely be hosting more of these in the future. And as for the tweaks I've made on this team, I've tried to showcase more of the setup win condition with these games. So I have Trick Room on Mimic You on top of the Calyrex this time, and Zapdos is going to be my lead Dynamax attacker to get that setup going with Mimic You. But enough yapping, let's get into the games. We have a hard hitter from game 1. Ryuna is a well-known Korean player. He's hit 2000 elo on Cartridge, just like I have. And he's shared a lot of his teams and insights on Smogon forums, even though English is his second language for him. And I'm very proud to have him on board. As for the team preview, Cinderace looks great here. He doesn't really have a clean switch in. And Quagsire is a good defensive matchup here as well. Uh, Calyrex isn't very good here. I don't think it's going to be able to sweep, especially with both the Rotom H and the Necrozma. But I'm going to bring it here to get some trades in. And he leads Rotom, I lead Cinderace. And I'm going to be able to get off a fairly free U-turn here. Let's see what he goes for. I'll be able to check his bulk investment. Approximately with this U-turn, it does approximately 20% less than that a little. So I can say that that is a bulk invested Rotom. It could still be Choice Scarf, it could be a Salt Vest, it could be Nasty Plot. There's a lot of options here. But I am able to catch him on the Volt Switch. And likely he is going to switch out of there. And let's see what Quagsire answer he has by clicking Yawn. And he goes to Primarina as opposed to Rillaboom, which could have gone Scaldburned. And Primarina is a bit of a tough matchup here with the 3-Eye Brought. I go to Cinderace in order to potentially cover the Max Starfall or the Energy Ball because I don't really see him just let the Primarina fall asleep here. But flip turn, that I wasn't expecting that. That was a good play by him, and I am on the back foot here. But still, this isn't the end of the world for me. He goes Rotom because he doesn't want to bring in Necrozma just yet. But this is in high jump kick range, so I am able to get the high jump kick off. Sorry for a little bit of gap in the recording, but I am in a pretty tough spot here. I cannot really afford to switch out here, but he is in range of the max steel spike, and if he goes Rotom on this, that is really bad for me, but I am going to go for it. I'm going to risk it here, and I go for the max steel spike. And if he Dynamaxes or switches out, both are really bad, but I felt like I had little choice but to go for the game here. And this is a big turn, and he does not Dynamax here. And I am able to get the max Steel Spike, and that should KO him. Right. And this is pretty good. I'm in a pretty good position now that I got that read right. And he is likely going to bring in his Rotom, which is a bit of a better matchup for him than the Necrozma for sure. Here, I know that I'm in a range of a high roll max flare from the Rotom if he is really invested. So here I just go for the max fireball to make sure that I stay fire type. and I can take this attack. And that way, I am forcing him to spend all 3 turns of my Dynamax here. So I am going to go for the Fireball. It's not that much less damage compared to Max Knuckle because that has a reduced base power. And I want to switch out after this one attack in order to preserve the Cinderace. And what this will let me do is go back out into Quagsire here. And if he gets the 2-hit KO on the switch to Quagsire, and that means that I have Cinderace out with his Dynamax gone and 2 more turns of Sun. And that means that I can just click Max Pyro Ball twice and win the game there. So I am going to go into Quagsire here, as I explained, and I believe this is a roll to 2-hit KO here. And he goes for the first Max Flare. It does 120 damage, so if he gets the same roll here, I am going to recover up back up to 132 with the Citrus. So I am going to yawn because there's a good chance that he is not going to get this KO. So that what that allows me to do is get the sleep on the Rotom, and if he gets to knock out my Quagsire, I can just bring in my Calyrex and just safely Trick Room without taking any damage. And that way, I'll be able to just KO the Rotom, and I don't have to activate the Necrozma's weakness policy right away because the Steel type move isn't going to knock me out here. Here, he goes for the Volt Switch, and the big reason for that is it's not a misplay because he knows that if he knocks out the Quagsire, I bring in my Calyrex, it Trick Rooms and wins the game on the spot there. So he wants to at least get a chance to claw back into the game here with the putting the Rotom back to sleep, and let's see what happens. But I'm going to switch out into the Cinderace on this turn, and if he wakes up, have a chance to roll the wake here, and if he wakes up, that's fine as well. You'll see why he chose to leave Quagsire alive in just a little bit. But here and now, because there's no Sun, I don't want to activate the weakness policy. I go for the high jump kick instead. There's no way without the Sun that Necrozma is dying to unboosted Pyro Ball. So I go for this here and get the knockout, and Necrozma finally comes in. And I go for the high jump kick here. I don't want to switch in Quagsire and take unnecessary damage or be put in some precarious situation with a crit or something like that. And he goes for the Dragon Dance. And Dragon Dance is expected because I am locked into high jump kick. But what isn't is that leftovers. I still wasn't sure what exactly was going on with the leftovers. So if you already realize what the Necrozma set that is, good job on you. I wasn't exactly aware of that, but I am scared to death of the potential Photon Geyser here. So I go into Quagsire right now in order to stop him from just setting up to the point where the Photon Geyser will ignore Quagsire's unaware and one-hit me. So here I'm able to get in before that happens and go for the Yawn to stop this setup from happening too much. I think about counter here, but I eventually decide for the Yawn. But no, he has Substitute, and that's why he has leftovers, and that makes so much sense why he doesn't have Lumberry or Weakness Policy. He has leftovers to counteract the HP loss from the Substitute, and he's able to set up in the face of Quagsire, and that is exactly why he left the Quagsire alive as opposed to just going for the KO with Rotom. So that was a very heads-up play by him to make sure that he gets a chance to win the game here with this Necrozma. And I'm in a very tough spot here. So doesn't break with the Scald. That makes sense. Duskmane Necrozma is so tanky, and I'm sure he has some bulk investment on that as well. So I am able to break that substitute with 2 Scalds here. Um, yep. Let's see the sub break, and he's going to go for another sub here, but there's very little I can do in terms of actually trying to KO this Necrozma or stop it from getting too many Dragon Dances up. So I know he's gonna sub here. He doesn't want to risk the yawn or the counter, though he doesn't know that I have the counter. He knows that I have the yawn for sure. So I think about it a little bit here, because the situation is very dire right now for me, and I choose to click Scald on the substitute. Of course, it will not break, and I go for the Scald here. And this is when I realize that if he likely doesn't have Photon Geyser here, so I am going to try to recover and try to stall out this Sunsteel Strike, if possible, that is. But yeah, that does a ton of damage. And if you guys are not aware, Sunsteel Strike ignores abilities such as Quagsire's Unaware. But you see that I only have 3 minutes left in the game, and this is a bit of a mistake by me. I should have known better because I was recording and I knew exactly how much time has passed since the game has started, but that was not on my mind. I realized that I can just keep using recover, using my full time here. I am able to stall out this Sunsteel Strike Necrozma. He does not have time to boost up anymore, so Runa knows this. He has to go for the crit. He does not get it. But in hindsight, I realized that maybe I should have spent a bit more of my time in the previous moves, knowing that Quagsire was going to get set up on my win condition had to be timer stall. And yeah, I did not play optimally around that. Instead of scalding on the sub that wasn't going to break, I should have just recovered there. Should have spent more time on that turn. I'm going to actually show you how exactly timer rules work, because it's not very intuitive. So it says until battle ends, I have 30 seconds, and that is going to be separate from my own time, which is going to show after all the animations end, which is about now. Yeah, I have 3 minutes, so I have a lot of my own time, but I'm just gonna wait until that battle time ends to click my move. And that way, this final turn will not count. You want to make sure that you stay as healthy as possible when the battle timer ends, because that's the tiebreaker. So you want to know exactly which turn the battle ends. So that's a good tip right there. This game 2 is against Kempcoop, another really good player. He's been busy with real life stuff recently, but he was able to join for this competition. So thank you, Kempcoop. Go for the Zapdos lead here because Urshifu is very threatening. And I'm going to go for the Trick Room game plan here with the Zapdos lead and letting that be the Dynamax, and I can clean up with Mimikyu and Calyrex using Trick Room. So let's get into the battle here. So Kempcoop here leads with the Kyogre, I lead with the Zapdos. I do have the type advantage here, but there's a lot of things on both players' mind here, because I am able to potentially go for the Scarf Volt Switch, which has good synergy with the Stall Core I have in the back. And there's also the chance I just go straight into the Chansey if I brought it. So he doesn't want to just attack into it and get nothing out of that. On the other hand, I am also concerned about his Blissey in the back, which is why I abandoned my initial plan of Dynamaxing the Zapdos. He goes for the Ice Beam because he doesn't want to do no damage with Water Spout if I were to Scarf. And yeah, that's actually what he told me why he ice beamed when I talked to him post game. But it works out in my favor because I am able to chip down the Kyogre to very low health. And here I think about going to Calyrex for the Ice Beam, but actually Mimikyu can take Ice Beam with the Disguise broken, and I'm able to get the Urshifu on the switch, which is a big reason why I was so afraid to go straight into Calyrex, because that would have just given him a free KO. Uh, Here, I'm able to just go for the Play Rough. If he's banded, this will just knock him out. And if he's Sash, I am able to survive a Sash Wicked Blow without my Disguise after the Disguise damages Mimikyu. So I'm able to just go for a Play Rough. That does 50 to Zapdos, so that is very offensive Zapdos here. I'm able to just go for the Trick Room here. And that should be very threatening on its own because Mimikyu is able to basically outspeed the whole team with Trick Room here and threaten the 2-hit KO with Play Rough and 1-hit KO on the Kyogre and Urshifu with Play Rough as well. So I'm just gonna do half to this Zapdos here. Does a little under half this time, so I know that that's a damage roll here, but he is able to break this Mimikyu's Disguise with the Zapdos, this offensive Zapdos, showing Life Orb as well. And here, I actually realized that I'm just gonna fully stall out my own Trick Room turns here. And so I'm just gonna go for the Play Rough here. And Trick Room turns ending is actually good for me because that allows Calyrex to set it up again, as opposed to coming in on the final turns of Trick Room and being forced to set it up against something like Choice Band or Urshifu when it's out on the field again. So he max guards trying to stall out the Trick Room. So I'm just gonna fully stall the whole Trick Room turns out using Substitute, and also gets to stall out my opponent Zapdos' Dynamax here, which is really good. And you see me checking my Trick Room turn count here. Always check your turns, guys. Uh, there's no point in not checking. So I'm going to go for the Play Rough here, I think, for a little bit of more chip damage here. I don't want to KO the Zapdos because I would rather set up Trick Room in front of the Zapdos rather than in front of the Urshifu. So he's going to go for the Max Lightning. That should easily take out this Mimikyu here. But that is fine because I will get to bring in my Calyrex and go for the Trick Room win here. So yeah, I clicked Trick Room in front of the Zapdos. I'm not sure if he is in Life Orb recoil range or not, but he should just go for a Thunderbolt or Heat Wave. I'm not sure what he has, but he goes for the Thunderbolt. That does quite a lot, and he does get to faint from the Life Orb recoil, and I get the Trick Room off. And that is still game because I am able to just Dynamax this Calyrex and set up Hailstorm. I'm not concerned too much over Urshifu is banded or sashed. I should just be able to either KO it with the hail damage or be able to survive the Choice Band Sucker Punch by Dynamax Hailstorming here. And yep, I go for the Hailstorm. Let's see if he has the Sash. He is banded, probably. And that just straight up knocks him out. And that should be the game because I get my +1 boost. with the Calyrex, and the Kyogre is at very low HP without being able to Dynamax. And here I am just gonna go for the Hailstorm in case I get matched up against him again. I don't want to reveal that I have Seed Bomb, so I do go for the Hailstorm. That should easily knock out the Kyogre even with the resist. Yep. And good game to Chemcoop. That was a very exciting game. I wasn't in control of it the whole time, but after how the turn 1 played out, I was pretty much in a really good position to win. That's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.